unlock the secret to true strength and mastery that the world rarely understands. Imagine moving through life without struggle, flowing like water around every obstacle, letting every action count with precise efficiency. Picture a mind empty yet powerful, silent yet unshakable, balanced perfectly between firmness and flexibility. See yourself adapting effortlessly, achieving more without forcing, becoming nothing yet gaining everything. What if real strength isn't about resistance, but harmony? What if mastery doesn't come from effort, but from letting go? Dive into the principles of effortless power, quiet mastery, and unstoppable resilience, and discover the life you were always capable of living. Strength is not found in meeting everything with force. When you push against the world pushes back. This is the way of resistance, and resistance consumes energy, wastes time, and leaves you drained. But when you learn to flow, when you learn to move with what is in front of you, you discover that strength is not in the clash. It is in the harmony. Look at water. When it encounters a rock, it does not fight, it does not strain, it simply flows around. And yet, given time, it wears down even the hardest stone. There is no struggle in its movement, only persistence, only natural power. The same is true of the body, the mind, and the spirit. When you struggle, you tighten, you lock yourself in a battle against yourself. Your energy scatters, your clarity fades, and your strength weakens. But when you allow yourself to flow, when you align with the rhythm of the moment, you become effortless. Every action is precise, every strike is direct, every step is free from hesitation. This is not weakness. This is the highest form of strength. To flow is not to surrender. It is to understand. Consider the fighter who wastes his breath with every movement, tensing at every step, striking with anger. He grows tired, he burns out, and soon his power is gone. Now see the one who is calm, who conserves, who lets his energy move only where it is needed. He appears soft, but inside he is unshakable. His strength does not drain because it is not force. It is natural. Struggle is loud, but flow is silent, and it is the silent one who endures. In life, the same truth applies. You may think success comes from pushing harder, from struggling against every obstacle, from forcing your way forward. But often, this is the reason so many fail. They exhaust themselves in the struggle, while those who flow remain steady. To flow is not to run away from difficulty. It is to meet it in the most effective way, without wasting yourself in resistance. You move with it, you learn from it, and you continue forward without breaking. True mastery is to act without strain. It is to know that force is not always strength, and that strength without struggle is far greater than the power of resistance. Flow is not passive. It is alive, it is sharp, it is unstoppable. Water does not need to struggle to be strong, and neither do you. Strength is not in the clash, it is in the flow. An empty cup can be filled, but a cup that is already full cannot take in anything new. This is the way of the mind. When you cling tightly to what you know, when you hold on to fixed ideas, you become heavy. You move stiffly. You respond slowly. And you leave no space for growth. But when you learn to let go, when you allow yourself to be empty, you become light. You become free, and you are ready for anything. Emptiness is not weakness. It is the greatest source of power, because it allows you to adapt and to receive without limit. Think of the fighter who enters a match convinced he knows every move, certain of his own superiority. His mind is full, and because of that fullness, he cannot adjust when something unexpected happens. He resists, he struggles, and in the end, he collapses under the weight of his own rigidness. Now think of the one who enters without clinging, whose mind is open like a clear sky. He does not carry pride, he does not carry fear. Because he is empty, he can respond instantly, change direction effortlessly, and flow with whatever comes his way. His emptiness becomes his strength. The same applies in life. People carry too much, memories that hurt them, opinions that limit them, beliefs that no longer serve them. They become prisoners of their own mind, weighed down by what they refuse to release. To walk with such heaviness is to struggle at every step. But when you release, when you allow your mind to empty itself of resistance, you find clarity. You begin to see things as they truly are, not as you expect them to be. In that clarity, you move more freely, and in that freedom, you find strength that does not tire. Emptiness also means adaptability. The wind bends the tree that is stiff, but the tree that sways survives the storm. The mind that clings is brittle. The mind that lets go is unbreakable. When you are empty, you can take any form. You can meet any challenge, because nothing is blocking your way. This is why emptiness is not something to fear, but something to cultivate. Many seek to fill themselves with knowledge, with possessions, with titles, thinking these things give them power. But true mastery is not in accumulation. It is in the freedom from attachment. A full mind cannot receive wisdom. A heavy heart cannot move lightly. But when you are empty, you can receive endlessly, you can learn without limit, and you can act with the lightness of air. When you stop clinging, you begin to live. When you let go of resistance, you discover the strength that cannot be broken, because it is not bound. Emptiness is not nothingness. It is possibility. It is openness. It is power in its purest form. To be empty is to be free, and to be free is to be strong. Many people believe that struggle is the only path to strength. They think that by forcing themselves harder, by constantly battling against everything in their way, they will become unshakable. But this is an illusion. Struggle does not always make you stronger many times. It only makes you tense. It drains your energy, and it blinds your vision. Real strength is not born from clashing with the world, but from moving in harmony with it. It comes not from resistance, but from alignment. When you fight against everything, your body tightens, your breath becomes heavy, and your movements grow stiff. You may feel powerful in the moment, but your energy is scattering in all directions. Soon, fatigue catches you, your clarity fades, and what you thought was strength reveals itself as strain. On the other hand, when you move without resistance, when your mind and body are in unity, your actions flow naturally. You strike without hesitation. You step without doubt. And every movement carries the full force of your being. This is strength without struggle, direct, effortless, complete. Picture a man trying to break through a locked door by slamming his body into it again and again. He sweats, he struggles, he grows weaker with each attempt. Now imagine another who simply turns the key or finds another way in. Who is stronger, the one who exhausts himself in resistance, or the one who understands how to move without wasting energy? True mastery is not about how hard you can push. It is about how clearly you can see, how efficiently you can act, and how fully you can align with the moment. In combat, you can see this difference clearly. The fighter who resists everything, who tries to overpower with sheer force, soon finds himself tired and predictable. His strikes are heavy, but they lack freedom. His movements are powerful, but they are rigid. Now look at the fighter who does not struggle, who lets go of resistance. He appears calm, almost effortless, yet every move carries precision and impact. He is not wasting himself in the illusion of struggle. He is channeling everything into the present action. The same is true in life. People believe that to succeed, they must suffer. They must struggle endlessly. They must carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. But many times their suffering is not necessary. It is created by their resistance. They fight against change, against uncertainty, against the natural flow of life. In that struggle, they grow weaker, not stronger. But those who learn to move without resistance, who act without unnecessary effort, discover a strength that does not fade. They achieve more, not because they fought harder, but because they wasted nothing. Real strength does not come from struggle, it comes from harmony. Water is the greatest teacher of strength without resistance. It never struggles, it never resists, and yet nothing in this world can survive without it. When it meets an obstacle, it does not break itself against it. It flows around, it moves through, or it waits patiently until time itself wears the obstacle down. Water does not need to prove its power, because its power is in its adaptability. It can crash with unstoppable force, yet it can also flow gently, soft enough to nurture life. This is the secret to mastery, learning to adapt completely, without resistance, without fear. When you face life rigidly, you set yourself up to break. Imagine a tree in a storm. The branches that are stiff and unyielding will snap, but the branches that bend and sway survive. Strength is not in refusing to move. Strength is in knowing how to move when the moment demands it. If you cling to one form, one method, one way of being, you will eventually face something that shatters it. But if you are like water, if you are willing to take any form, you cannot be broken. You can meet anything, because you are not confined to a single way. Adaptability is freedom. When you are free to change, nothing can trap you. When you are free to adjust, no situation can overwhelm you. Think of combat. If you are fixed in your strategy, your opponent will find your weakness. But if you remain fluid, if you can shift in an instant, then no one can truly grasp you. You become unpredictable, formless, alive in every moment. That is why water is so powerful, because it never resists being what it needs to be. In life, people fear change, they resist it. They fight against the unknown. They want to stay in control, to hold on to the familiar. But in that resistance, they create suffering. Life will not bend to your will. Life is movement, transformation, constant flow. To resist it is to exhaust yourself. To accept it, to move with it, is to remain unshaken. Just as water adapts to the shape of any container, you must learn to adapt to the shape of every moment. In doing so, you remain whole, no matter how the world shifts around you. There is also a hidden strength in softness. Many mistake softness for weakness, but water proves this wrong. It is soft enough to yield, yet strong enough to carve valleys and wear down stone. Its strength is patient, unstoppable, eternal. In the same way, when you let go of the need to resist, you find a strength that does not fade because it is not forced. It is natural, flowing, and complete. To adapt like water is to be unbreakable. Wasted movement is wasted life. Every action you take, every motion of your body, every thought in your mind consumes energy. If that energy is scattered, if it is spent without direction, you weaken yourself. But when your movement is precise, when nothing is wasted, then all of your power flows into the moment. Strength is not about how much effort you can pour out, but how little you need to use to achieve the result. The secret is economy of motion, making every action count. Think of someone who is frantic, who swings wildly, who throws their whole body into every strike without control. To the untrained eye, it may look powerful, but very quickly. The energy drains, the body tires, and the strikes lose their sharpness. Now think of the one who is calm, who conserves, who moves only when it is necessary. He may appear quiet, but when he strikes, the impact is full and decisive. One wastes himself in constant struggle. The other channels everything into a single, precise moment. This is the difference between effort and mastery. The same principle applies beyond combat. In daily life, people exhaust themselves by scattering their attention, by chasing too many things at once, by letting their energy leak into worry, doubt, and distraction. They believe they are busy, but being busy is not the same as being effective. To live with economy is to act with focus, to give your full presence to each moment, and to eliminate what is unnecessary. Just as a blade is sharpened by removing what dulls it, your life is sharpened by removing what wastes it. Economy of motion is not only physical, it is mental and spiritual. When your mind is cluttered with too many thoughts, you hesitate. When your spirit is divided between too many desires, you weaken. But when the mind is clear, the body follows effortlessly. When the spirit is steady, your actions carry weight. There is no hesitation, no conflict within you. You move directly, like lightning striking its target. In that clarity, every small movement becomes powerful, because it carries the whole of you. Efficiency is not cold, it is alive. It is not about doing less for the sake of laziness, but about aligning yourself so completely that nothing is wasted. Imagine the archer who pulls the bow without tension, breath steady, mind silent, and then releases with one smooth motion. The arrow flies true not because of strain, but because every part of the action was unified. This is the essence of economy. Nothing extra, nothing forced, only what is needed. When you cut away waste, you cut away struggle. What remains is pure, focused, and unstoppable. True strength is born when nothing is wasted. The strongest person in the room is rarely the loudest. Real power does not need to announce itself. It does not need to prove itself. It exists quietly, steady, and unshakable. The one who boasts, who seeks attention, who shows off his strength, is still trying to convince himself. But the one who remains calm, who carries no need to display or argue, is already complete within. That silence, that quiet confidence, is the mark of true mastery. When you are still inside, your actions speak louder than any words. You do not need to threaten. You do not need to show force, because those around you feel it. It is the same as standing near a mountain. The mountain does not move, does not speak, but its presence is undeniable. That kind of strength is not loud. It is not restless. It is quiet and unshakable. And when strength takes this form, it becomes far more powerful than the kind that is shouted or displayed. In combat, this truth is clear. The fighter who yells, who postures, who tries to intimidate his opponent wastes energy. He is loud because inside he is uncertain. But the fighter who stands calmly, breathing steady, eyes sharp, carries a presence that cannot be ignored. He does not need to prove anything because he already knows. His silence is not emptiness, it is focus, it is control, it is power contained and ready. That kind of mastery is beyond resistance because it comes from within. The same is true in life. Many people chase recognition, needing others to validate their strength. They measure themselves by how much noise they can make, how much attention they can gather. But this only shows that they are still dependent on the outside world. The quiet one, the one who does not seek to prove or to boast, has already found strength within himself. He does not need applause because his mastery does not rely on anyone else's eyes. That inner calm is the deepest kind of freedom. Quiet strength is not passive. It is not weakness. It is simply directed. It does not scatter. It does not waste itself on what is unnecessary. Like still water that runs deep, it is patient and powerful. It waits for the right moment to act, and when it does, it is unstoppable. Silence is not the absence of power. It is the containment of it. To be loud is easy. To be quiet and unshaken requires mastery. When strength is silent, it is complete. Strength without balance is fragile, just as mastery without balance is incomplete. True power does not come from being hard all the time, nor from being soft all the time. It comes from knowing when to be one and when to be the other. The world teaches many to equate strength with stiffness, as if to never bend is the highest form of power. But what is stiff breaks, and what is unyielding eventually shatters. Real strength lies in balance, the balance between firmness and softness, between yielding and standing, between action and stillness. Think of the bamboo in the wind. It bends, it sways, but it does not fall. Its roots are deep, and its body is flexible. That is why it endures storms that destroy taller, stronger looking trees. Balance allows it to be both soft and firm at once. If it were too stiff, the storm would break it. If it were too weak, it would collapse. Its survival is proof of the strength that balance creates. In combat, this balance is clear. The fighter who is only aggressive, who only presses forward, is predictable. His force can be redirected, his energy turned against him. But the fighter who knows when to advance and when to yield, when to be solid and when to flow, is far more dangerous. He cannot be controlled because he is not locked into one way of being. His strength is alive, balanced, and complete. In his softness there is power. In his firmness there is control. Life also demands this same balance. If you are too hard in spirit, you become closed. You cannot adapt, you cannot grow, and in the end, the weight of your own rigidity crushes you. If you are too soft, you are easily swayed, lacking the foundation to stand firm when it is needed. But when you cultivate balance, you carry both resilience and adaptability. You can bend without breaking, you can stand without struggling, and you can face whatever comes without fear. Balance is not a middle point. It is not weakness. It is harmony. It is the place where opposites meet and support one another. Just as day balances night, just as inhale balances exhale, strength and softness complete each other. Without one, the other is incomplete. To live in balance is to live without resistance, to carry strength that feels natural, calm, and enduring. The highest form of strength is not force, and the highest form of mastery is not control. It is the balance between them. Many people spend their lives trying to prove themselves, striving to show the world who they are, seeking validation from others, and measuring their worth by what they achieve or display. In that constant effort, they carry a burden that grows heavier with each passing day. They are weighed down by expectations, by the opinions of others, and by the need to maintain an image. They struggle endlessly, thinking that doing more, being more, or proving more will bring them freedom. But the truth is, the moment you stop trying to prove yourself, the moment you release that need, you discover something far greater. You discover yourself. When you stop resisting, when you let go of the struggle to control everything, life begins to flow through you. You no longer fight against what is. Instead, you move with it. You respond to each moment as it comes, fully present, fully aware. In doing so, you become unshakable. Your strength is no longer dependent on external measures or victories, because it comes from within. When you stop clinging to outcomes, when you stop forcing yourself into shapes that are not yours, you find freedom. The freedom to act, the freedom to grow, and the freedom to become everything you are meant to be. This does not mean you do nothing or that you are passive. On the contrary, it is in letting go that you find the clarity to act decisively. Your actions are no longer cluttered by fear, doubt, or the need to prove. They are direct, precise, and filled with purpose. You achieve more not by struggling harder, but by moving in harmony with the moment. Like water, you take the shape of every situation. You meet every challenge without resistance, and in that adaptability lies your power. When you stop being something you are not, when you release the masks and the pretenses, you begin to live authentically. There is no wasted energy in trying to impress, no wasted thought in worrying about what others think. Every moment becomes an opportunity to act freely, to learn, to grow. Strength arises naturally from this authenticity, because it is not forced, it is not borrowed, it is entirely your own. In this way, becoming nothing, the act of letting go of pride, attachment, and the illusion of control, is paradoxically the path to achieving everything. When you stop resisting, the world no longer feels heavy. When you stop striving to dominate or impress, you move with ease and confidence. When you release the weight of expectation, your actions carry the full force of your being. True power is not in clinging, and true mastery is not in control. It is in surrender, in openness, in the willingness to be nothing so that life can move through you. To become nothing is to achieve everything.